We are into it. First of all, we are going to end all sanctuary cities.
Governor Cox also cites a memo that Bernanke's office issued a memo calling Utah a sanctuary state.
The governor announced today that there are now around 900 refugees from Afghanistan in the state of Utah.
So filled with righteous anger and ferocious resolve. As President of the United States, I am determined to ensure that the animal who perpetrated this atrocity pays the steepest possible price. I can report tonight that based on the best available information, the Department of Homeland Security is confident that the suspect in custody is a foreigner who entered our country from Afghanistan, a hellhole on earth. He was flown in by the Biden administration in September 2021 on those infamous flights that everybody was talking about. Nobody knew who was coming in. Nobody knew anything about it. His status was extended under legislation signed by President Biden, a disastrous president, the worst in the history of our country. This attack underscores the single greatest national security threat facing our nation. The last administration let in 20 million unknown and unvetted foreigners.
We are here in Iznik, where Pope Leo XIV is marking one of the most important moments of his 6-day trip. It is the 1,700th anniversary of the Council of Nicaea.
We do not accept the Nicene Creed.
Travis Wayne Goodsell. Mormons, you dumbasses. You dumbasses. This is coming up for a later video to finish off Oakes' name of the church. You dumbasses. Mormons are spending all their time going online to rewrite history, to just utterly lie about our church's origins. And when you do that, you get exposed by people who check and who put things in order. Who know certain types of processes in the church. And I see this battle of Mormons rewriting history and ex-foes trying to restore the history. It is a war of truth. It's one of those mornings, starting early. There is one dumbass, obviously a Mormon, who made the claim and footnoted a book from 2014 that is not a source. Source is the Joseph Smith Papers. If you can't find it there, it ain't true. He claimed that in 1838, as Smith had to move from Kirtland because the Danites destroyed his Kirtland Safety Society, and they came to Missouri. He claimed that Joseph Smith appointed president of the Quorum of the 12 Apostle Missionaries along with David Patton and Brigham Young as stake presidency. Ooh, we get to form a stake in Missouri. Oh my God. He's already in a quorum of his own. Why would Thomas B. Marsh be made another president? These Mormons just don't think. They just don't think. Oh, dear God. So, yeah, Danites. Danites. And yeah, oh, dear God. You've got Mormons who are, God. You got one Wikipedia page saying that Joseph Smith went to the judge and the sheriff demanding that the election be overturned. And yet another one confirmed, no. No. That it was Lyman White Samson Avard, Cornelius Lott, and George Albert Smith. Who were the ones who led the group of Danites to overturn the election results and claiming that Joseph Smith told them to do it. Because I've got confirmation that that's the case. That one I believe. Because I've already confirmed the Danites. God. They just lie and they don't care to tell the truth. And they get angry and violent and criminal, and just like the Danites. You have never changed, Mormons. You have never changed. Thus far, according to the order of the Danites, we have a company of Danites in these times. To put to rights physically. That's the order of Nehor in Alma, chapter 1. If they'd been preaching the Book of Mormon like they were supposed to as missionaries, they would have known not to do this. Put to rights physically that which is not right, and to cleanse the church of very great evils which have hitherto existed among us, inasmuch as they cannot be put to rights by teachings and persuasions. On the 4th of July, 1838. All of the forged documents are exposed in this journal entry. And it's the Elders' Journal. They were asked by Joseph to keep a journal of all of their missionary labors. And 40 years later, because you need to do this in your research, when you're looking at the original documents, you'll notice that there's some light-colored ink and there's some dark-colored ink. Why is that? Did they use a different pen? Different pen? Did they have Bic back then? Did they? Did they have Bic? This is a Bic, right? Yeah, that's all I use is Bic. I really don't use anything else. Bic has been Bic. And 40 years, ink starts to fade. And so the faded ink was 40 years afterward. And yet, newer ink is put in on those pages where there were faded ink. Yeah, forged documents. Obviously, 40 years later. And when you find out that those sections of the Doctrine and Covenants, 40 years later, were indeed put in Brigham Young's 40 years later Doctrine and Covenants, we've got a winner. So yeah, section 115, section 116, section 117, section 118, section 119, section 124 and 28, section 132, all forged documents. Then there's some others that they turned literal history, like section 2, and therefore put it in as well in Brigham Young's version. These Danites are the worst of humanity. I grew up in Southern California among white supremacist Christian nationalist peers. The words that were coming out of those kids' mouths terrified me. What they wanted to do to other mankind. They should have been charged as adults. As little grade schoolers. Dear God. And then they're telling me that Sean Hannity and Rush Limbaugh told them to do that. And so here they are, all groated up. And kind of being soft on what they intended to do as kids. Sort of soft. But coming to Utah, believing that it would be a safe place for me as a Mormon, born and raised, even though my mom made sure to not have me raised up in Utah. Don't know why. Nonetheless, she's a strict Mormon, so I don't understand why. It didn't make sense. I guess Mormons in Utah are too wicked for her standards and values. Because in all rationality, she should have loved to come to Utah. And she did during their retirement time, as they were trying to retire, having to finish off Tabitha. All because of Irene. She wanted to be by temples in her retirement years. And Irene wouldn't just come out and say, no, we have no intention of building a temple here. I'm just here on vacation. The temple will be down the block from me. Okay, fine. We'll move to Utah. And it has been literally a nightmare living among Mormons since August 1996. And how I have been treated by those who ought to have called me Brother Goodsell. I come out and decipher Paleo-Hebrew and scientifically show how Joseph Smith is a translator. And Mormons want me exterminated, erased from history, murdered, tortured, destroyed, robbed. See, my born-again Christian nationalist, white supremacist peers, they all left me alone. They did stuff to other people. They talked about wanting to do stuff to other people, but they left me alone. But Utahns, dear God, talk about your Judas betrayers. So, I know exactly how Thomas B. Marsh felt. This group of Danites, he names Lyman, came to him and told him Joseph Smith was telling us to hurt people. Just like Jesus tells us to hurt people. And so he went with them to Gallatin because he believed that America was at war with Mormons, attacking them for their religious beliefs, despite the Constitution, the First Amendment. Mormons are under fire. To arms! So yeah, he went. And what he saw them do in Gallatin horrified him, like moving to Utah. And sure enough, all of the bases for the forged documents 40 years later were done by these Danites. The blood oath atonement, the name of the church, Adam on Diamond, tithing, and dear God, polygamy, no, that's soft. From what they were actually doing. Section 117 tells you exactly what they were doing sexually. And the only way to know is to know how the Christians interpret Revelation chapter 2 about the Nicolaitan band. Christians created the myth of the Nicolaitan band. There were no real documents to know who they were and what they did. And so it was Christians who later came out and said, yeah, well, they did this and they did that and they did this. And so these Danites, putting that in, knew the Christian tradition of those Nicolaitan band members, which are them. Section 117 is a forged document. They vindicate Joseph Smith in it, and yet expose themselves. Just the stupidest people. You know, it's criminal behavior 101. Don't leave a document trail. The Nicolaitan band didn't do it. But you get these dumbasses who think they're going to cover up and hide their crimes with forged documents, thinking that they can get away with it, just like Mormons today online. We can hide our crimes behind a computer device. Nobody will ever know it's us. Oh, God. Just stupid. Criminal people are the dumbest people in the universe. They are not stable geniuses, like our Lord and Master Trump. And so, yeah, you have to have Hollywood entertainment to finally have real evil geniuses. Because normal humans are never geniuses. They're always mentally retarded. I mean, awesome. That's the new word by psychologists now. It's no longer special. Special has been mocked and teased and used by bullies too much now, so they got to find another word, and now it's awesome. Just, oh, Fox. Come on, guys. Just stop. So, I'm sure all of you all watch Fox News loyally, right? Fox News has been bullying relentlessly MSNBC for years. Calling them fake news, calling them all sorts of names. And so finally, this year, MSNBC caved to the bullying of Fox News and became exactly what they were bullied to be: fake news. And so now they're called MS Now for opinion, which is fake. Opinion is not news. And so yes, my viewing of MS Now has dropped compared to MSNBC because it's all opinions. It is tanked in the quality of news because it's not news anymore. They themselves advertise themselves as not news. They're fake. They're opinion. And so Fox News yesterday comes out knowing that they got them and exposed them as the frauds they are, and yet they're still beating the dead horse. Just stop, guys. You won. You should have done the videos about how, yeah, MSNBC, they were fake news and now they've confessed. Yeah, they're no longer worth it. We're going back to CNN to bully them. See if we can get them to change to CON, Cable Opinion Network. Like I told you guys, my childhood peers were doing that stunt. I know this stunt. I saw it coming. Do not embrace the bullying, but psychologists told them to do so. Just like with LGBTQIAPO+. Gay was the bullying term. You were not supposed to embrace it. So all the other letters, all by my childhood peers, and you embraced it. Getting suckered by the psychologists. Just disgusting. So yes, these Danites did the same thing, the Mormons. But the point that I'm wanting to point out is that they were plotting to coup America 200 years later. And they told this to Thomas B. Marsh, and he put it in his affidavit. Putting to rights what they deem as not right, to cleanse the church, and then America, and then the world. To cleanse America. So those of you who are of another religion or not a religion, do you want to be cleansed by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? Because I'm not supposed to tell you this. It's supposed to be a secret. I'm supposed to now kill myself for exposing the secret. I'm the whistleblower of Helaman chapter 6, verse 24. This is why my church has been abusing me the whole time. Trying to murder me, trying to have me disappeared, trying to have me erased, tortured me, robbed me, destroyed me. And they will never stop. See, if I were to stop doing YouTube videos and try to live my own life separate from the church, they would never stop. Because it's not about leaving the church alone. It's about the Lamanite syndrome. We are the rulers, and you must obey us. You must be subject to us. And so even if you've left the church will never leave you alone. If you're not even a Mormon, yeah, all of us have targets on our backs. This church is the enemy of mankind. And that is not even the depths of evil sufficient for what this church is and what they've turned Mormons into. That's why all this year, when Trump took over as president, George Albert Smith's nukes did not happen. The other George Albert Smith. Later on. But yeah, that's all part of the coup plot of America. A 9/11 event of biblical proportions from Malachi. The day shall come that shall burn as an oven, and Christians call it Armageddon. Joseph Smith warns you that the Danites are coming to do this in the first vision, second vision. They that come shall burn them. He's referring to verse 1, the evil disposed and designing militant missionaries lying about his church still, since 1832 when Brigham and Heber joined. And so, 4th of November, 2016. I got so fed up with having to memorize in grade school. And I use associative memory, and as you can see, there's crossovers. That's why it's important for me to reference things if I'm gonna do an official paper on it. YouTube is not official from me. It is just me trying to communicate with you to warn you of the dangers of this church and Mormons. And for the most part, they're laughing at me because they're winning. They have silenced my voice. They have shut me down. They have ruined me and destroyed me. and have gotten both sides, both Mormons and ex-foes, to not take me seriously. They have destroyed my credibility in the eyes of the world so that nobody would believe me. And yet I've got all the documents. I saw what happened on Thomas B. Marsh's page. They put it back in. George Albert Smith is the source for the claim that Thomas B. Marsh was excommunicated by Joseph Smith for defending his wife's honor over milk strippings. So prepare your backs for a good whipping if you go against this church. And yet, yeah, George Albert Smith, the liar, who claimed Joseph told him to do things to hurt people. And so, in the beginning of my church history research, Thomas B. Marsh, I have it on this file, as I found out this morning. The original document from Wikipedia showed that he was excommunicated on the 17th of March, 1839. And so I do the videos about how this is all a lie. Because Joseph Smith is in Liberty Jail still. Oh my God. And so after doing those videos, the Mormons who stalk me from church headquarters, Strengthening Church Members Committee, the church office building, and others who stalk me, went and altered the Wikipedia page. And so that was removed. He was the only one not excommunicated on the 17th of March. And so I do those videos about how they're altering history. And so this morning, the ex-Mos prevailed again. And they put it back in. As you can clearly see from the two papers, they're snapshots that I took of how they reformatted things. And in the latest reformatting, he put it back in. Oh my God. See, when these people lie to you, they treat you as stupid. They do this to trick you into believing their lies. And when you fall for it and you go around spreading their lies, they're laughing it up. They think this is the most hilarious thing, that they got you to believe their lies and now you're spreading it around. When people are not taught how to know the difference between hearsay and fact. And church history is that war between hearsay an actual historic fact. It is a battle to the death. Oh, man. So, speaking about Armageddon and to the death, Oaks got leaked. He couldn't shut up. But that's what happens with these evil people. They think that they're getting away with it. Plotting this for 200 years. And so they slip. They leak. They say things they shouldn't have said. Like Trump at the APEC conference a month ago. Yeah, I rigged the 2024 election. I'm not the president. I rigged it. I already knew that from AI. I did the videos. But to have him confess, that's gold. And yet it's too late. He's president. There's nothing that anybody is doing to stop him. And he's running America into the ground. For the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Oaks got leaked. In 2020, March 14th. Thought he was being clever, doing it in chiasmus. He says this is not the end of the world this year. Armageddon, the day that shall burn as an oven, but merely a test. What? I thought no man knew the day or the hour. A trial run for Jesus's flaming burn. Jesus is gonna hurt you. And we're gonna cause it, putting physically to rights what is not rights in our eyes. From Martin Harris, who turncoated. He was always a turncoat from the beginning. Nonetheless, his sister produced Oaks. He confessed to the brand new mission presidents and their wives. He assumed none of them would record him. They're going out on a mission for 3 years. They're gone. That none of them would remember. And that is the arrogance of evil. You got to keep your mouth shut. You gotta zip it. Because you're now the weak link, Oaks. And all of those Hollywood entertainment comedies of criminals. You're the weak link. And several of them are flashing before my brain. Oh my God. Because the more people you involve in your criminal activity, the more damage control you have to do. And the sad thing is that President Marquis had no clue. He didn't get it. He didn't understand. He thought it was faith promoting. And likewise, sweet, innocent 19-year-old girl who goes out on her mission to Marquis' Australia mission, and she posts his letter to her parents and stake president on her mission website. And last November, it got leaked. That all of Mormonism found out about it. And all of Mormonism are clueless as to what this meant. Because they all believe Jesus is coming because Nelson and Oaks and the Christmas devotional last year, referring to Nelson's conference talk in October. They came back from vacation, they finally scrolled, let's see what Nelson had said at conference. Jesus is coming! Jesus! And so that's what they interpret this as. That Jesus communicates with the 12, the president of the church, and tells them things. Hurt people. I am coming. And that's what Mormons believe. So they don't see the criminal intent here. And Oaks knows all about criminal intent. As a former prosecutor and Utah Supreme Court Justice. He knows he's a criminal. He knows what he's doing is wrong. He knows he's lying to everybody. No one was supposed to know this information. Especially after I had just served the church in the federal courts. Bastards. I warned my government and they did nothing about it, and it happened. And I was left all these years wondering, well, what happened? Why aren't we in Zion? Everything else, oh my God. Did they fail? Obviously they failed, but what happened? Why? A test run? A bleeping test run. A coup of the government. Mass murder. Theft. Destruction of the Danites by Dallin Harris Oaks. So, I've been trying to tell you that the Book of Mormon told you. 3 Nephi chapter 7. That's why Trump almost got assassinated that year. Creeping death. Because Oaks was running a test. 3 Nephi chapter 7 was supposed to be in 2020. It's not supposed to be a test run. There's no test runs in the Book of Mormon. It's like there's no crying in baseball. I like that movie. Tom Hanks. I parted the waters even. And still, what the hell happened? A test run. And so I told you. And then I do these videos because of the repeating pattern. All of it came from the Danites. So, there you have it. At the beginning of the year, well, in the running for the election, Trump said, we're getting rid of all sanctuary cities. And I've been using that quote since, especially after Cox got leaked as being a sanctuary state for Utah. And then the church came out after Trump became president and started enacting things immediately. Church came out and said, we are going to disobey Trump and we're going to fund terrorism in America and fund the undocumented illegals. And still they wouldn't listen to me. They didn't do anything. They come out and confess. Still, Governor Cox steps in to interfere and protect the church, protect Utah as a sanctuary state among Trump, who's trying to do away with sanctuary states. And Trump is getting shot down in flames. People sue. Judges say, no, you can't do that. So Trump pretends to back down, and everybody thinks he's a taco. And he's just rebuilding for another thing. Another wave. So yes. In the beginning, it was illegals. Now it's trans Antifa furry terrorist communists. Drug dealers. So yes, Venezuela, for example, was called a terrorist group in America, and they're druggies, and so he's doing a war on drugs in America to claim to deport people. And people are saying, hey, they're not a part of this gang. Because Trump is testing it out, a test run. Stop it, Trump, you're supposed to do it. No more test runs. Stop it. So, he pretends to back down and rebuilds to set up for the next thing. And so then, yes, he now picks a fight with Venezuela, where the Venezuelan gang came from, supposedly. Utah even claimed they had the gang here in Harriman. And what happened to them? Nothing. Nonetheless, you know, over the summer, there's an occasional individual who gets locked up. And everybody's crying, they're legally here. No, they're not. You're not listening to Trump. Everybody's in denial. 3rd Nephi chapter 7. Get the hell out. Section 119. Get the hell out. You're not paying tithing. Get out. And that's what Trump is doing for the church. He's trying to purge Utah. of the unworthy, according to the church. And so all of y'all gotta go. And I keep trying to tell Trump it's the church. Get them. They're gonna murder you. And he comes up with another red flag, false flag operation. Oh, they almost got me. In Pennsylvania last year, they shot off my ear. It's gone. We found a hunter's bird nest in a tree. Stop it. Just stop it. So, yes, this kind of stunt is what he does. It's all in his book, The Art of the Deal. It's like the press forgot about it. And so now we're about to do a land war in Venezuela without congressional consent. Because he's a drug terrorist. It's a war on drugs and terrorism. It's not a war against a country. And everybody's going to play dumb on this? Dear God. So yes, the latest assassination attempt. The Afghani? Seriously? Couldn't you make it a Gazan? Or Palestinian at least? Dear God. Under Biden, we left. Under Biden. Not Trump, Biden. And so apparently an Afghani who was helping our CIA who made it to America under Biden hates America? It's like Lee Harvey Oswald, a communist, just like Kennedy. Ooh, I gotta assassinate him. I'm a fellow communist. I'm a trans Antifa furry communist. They play us for dumb. Afghanistan is at war with Pakistan. They're not involved in Gaza with Israel. And so they don't care about Trump right now. They're more concerned about Pakistan. And yet, it's just, and so, yes, look at the bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture. Right before a judge came out and said, no, Trump, no troops in D.C. anymore. They've got to go at the end of the month. Oh, how convenient timing. So now we got the troops back in. And Trump also uses this to say, every illegal's got to go. Even those of you who are not illegal, you're illegal too, because you came in under Biden under the auto pen. He's just redoing it in a different way. And nobody catches this. This is what he wants done. And he's just running test run after test run. Stop it! Stop it! Bad enough that we had a failed test run in 2020 and 2021. I wasn't a failure. Trump. So yeah, he's a puppet for the church. So yeah, the Tyler shooting. God, he didn't do it, and nobody's listening. The whole world saw the kill shot from that direction. And they showed the maps of the UVU at the beginning. Yeah, this is where the shooter was assumed coming from, the Luze building, and this is the trajectory of the shot, and we're going to ignore science and physics. That the Luze building is from that direction and not that one. And that if it was from that one, there's the whole chin thing. It would have been here. Down through the mouth. And yet, boom! Everybody knows. And nobody is making the connection. Because you're not putting it in order. Tyler didn't do it. Even if he was the guy on the building, even if he did have a rifle, he still didn't do it. If having an open rifle in public in Utah is illegal, that's as far as they can go to charge him. You cannot have an open weapon in Utah. We're going to have to charge you for that, and it's a misdemeanor charge, I think. That's as far as they can go. But yet, nope, he came from that direction. And the defense counsel isn't getting this either. That's also very disturbing. That was the first thing they should have done, is put the prosecution's claims and check them. You're claiming my client was on that building when you're saying that the shot came from here into the C2 vertebrae and out the other side? And they can't catch this yet? They're dragging it on? An innocent person, his life is destroyed, thanks to Governor Cox. Are you the baby daddy of Erica's baby? Cox, what are you up to? Are you a Dan? Oh, you are a Danite. You're on the list. You know, it can't be Mendenhall. She's a homewrecker, but she can't impregnate. Unless she's a trans Antifa furry terrorist communist. Oh, dear God. So, yeah, new concentration camp for the homeless, which is not going to be for the homeless, it's going to be for apostates. They're building it just for me, and that's special. The whole world was horrified when they found out about that. Oh, man. And yet they're still going through with it. Psychologists of the Utah Unite. We have restored Nazi Germany in Utah. So I was pleased to see that Garna has returned to KSL. Does that mean you have a new little baby? Finally, after the church pimped you out, tried to save your life, and then you went missing, now you're back? Is that because of pregnancy? And then KSL has also been stealing Mormons from Fox 13. You know, Big Buddha, who's now Little Buddha. I know her name. I've said enough. Just dropping the ball. I've been using her because she's been doing the psycho trips. Oh, what does our psychologist have to tell me today? What is my astrology future? Well, yeah, we're kind of like astrologers. We tell you how to think, how to feel, how to believe, and what to do. 5 ways to control your kids. All of that is crap. And they just will not get it. They will not stop it. So yeah, a weather girl who came in to replace, oh my God, she's been gone for so long. I even emailed her and she emailed me back. Back in the day. And then she got married and got pregnant, and now she's gone. But yeah, the other weather woman came from Oregon and was the weather girl there. They don't like to be called weather girl. I don't know why. And weather girl is an honorary title. They want to be called meteorologist. Okay, fine. But to me, you're always a weather girl. And I've done the videos about how they're better than AI. How they're prophetesses, predicting the future, and Mormons still can't get a clue. Huh? Isn't that of the devil? Mormon, stop it. Stop. But yeah, she's now on KSL, doing the weather for them. And she's been demoted. That's the sad thing. Tamara Vaifanua. That's her name. The other woman with the psychologist. But this other one, yeah, she was the top meteorologist to replace her. What the hell happened? Do I even have her in my files here? Probably not. Because this is somewhat new. When are you going to wear pink again, Sarah? When are you going to wear pink? I like that pink. When are you going to wear the pink? It's not here. Matey. Okay. It's going to occur to me after I finish the video, isn't it? Isn't it? So anyway, so yeah, the KSL is stealing everybody and demoting them. Garna Mejia, for example, when they stole her, she's national. Garna is big time. She's professional, and yet the church took her and demoted her. She was doing occasional reporting, trying to pimp her out, trying to get her to do other things than the news, and those failed. I fully supported her. But nonetheless, they eventually had her doing weekend anchoring, not main news anchoring. She is too professional to be delegated to the weekends. The weekenders and holiday people are the ones that you really have no choice. They're the backup team, the B-teamers. And yet, Garna is a well-established, credentialed, experienced professional, and KSL just trashed her. And so yes, the same thing with Tamara Vaifanua, although she's anchor now, isn't she? So they promoted her from when she was on Fox 13. She was starting to be trained and groomed to be anchor, but no, she never really made it. KSL gave it to her, I guess, because she's more faithful. But the Oregon girl, yeah, I finally saw her. I hadn't seen her for a while. I thought maybe she had finally fallen for the trap to be forced into marriage. And had a baby, and then left. And now she's back with KSL. I couldn't find that she was Mormon. Did you become Mormon? Seriously, girl? Oh my hell. You fell for the trap. Fell for the trap. So yeah, she's still looking good. So, Afghanistan. Utah brought in 900. And they all got to go. But since the late 70s, thousands have been brought in by Catholic communities here in Utah. And the rescue committee, 12,000 since 1994. All of them have to go. Trump says it doesn't matter if you are legally here now, you're illegal. If you're from the third world country, you have to all go. That's what he said. And so yes, Trump is again ordering Utah to obey his orders, and Utah is still going to ignore him. So the question is Trump going to finally come in militarily to Utah? Trump gave orders. He's the president. Is Cox going to obey? He had never obeyed since. He promoted him for president, and now that he's president, Cox has been going behind his back and not obeying. The church put Trump in. And they're outwardly disobeying. They're provoking a military operation in Utah. And Trump still isn't doing it. Utah is now a Democrat state. A trans-Antifa communist terrorist state. Still, Trump isn't doing it. God. So, Fox News said something very curious yesterday. Fox, do you know what you just said? There's a law in the United States of America for which you cannot have the military on American soil unless it's for an insurrection coup. But typically Congress is supposed to be involved with it. And yet, Trump has been sending out ICE, federal agents, and the National Guard to sanctuary cities. And so, Fox reported yesterday that the National Guard is a military. Fox, are you saying that the National Guard, which is nowhere in an amendment of the Constitution for the Second Amendment, which was supposed to be for a militia, but we no longer have militias, and yet we have this National Guard, and supposedly it's the militia, but no amendment to change their name to the National Guard, as is required. Are you saying that it's not a militia? That they're actually a military that has been here on American soil the whole time? So the DC or the Detroit riots back when I was a kid, that was a military operation and not a National Guard by the governor? And everything this year, it is not the National Guard as a militia that was not authorized because there's no amendment for them? That they're a militia, they're a military on American soil? Hmm. So, Pope. The Pope follows me on YouTube. What I've been telling you all this year, it's the 1700th anniversary of the first creed that destroyed mankind. And, a new Pope. Oh, he forgot. He didn't celebrate it. I acknowledged it in my videos all this year. And he didn't do it. It came and went. 4 months later, the Turkey Pope on Turkey Day in Turkey finally acknowledged the creation of Christianity 1700 years ago. And of course, they're downplaying it, saying it's all literal history. We're just affirming what was literal history. It didn't turn things literal history. Science is wrong. Yep. And so, yeah, this Pope is bribed a lot. Lots of people are bribing him with baseball bats and all sorts of stuff. Dear God. This guy loves to take a bribe. priestcraft to the extreme here. I mean, not even the leaders of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints get this many public bribes. And to finish us off, Canada. Not only are they disputing with Alberta, Mormonville, that is wanting to separate from Canada and become their own kingdom and join the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. If only Canada knew. But all of Canada, they're either in the process or they've banned public prayer. Separation of church and state. And it's specifically targeting Islam, who's pushing this. The church isn't really pushing it. They've got their own buildings for prayer. It's Islam that are demanding that there be employment rooms for prayer and government rooms for prayer, public, civil, demanding that their religion dominate and take over government and business. And so Canada is saying, no, you can't do that. There's a separation between religion and government. You can't have a prayer room in schools. It's got to be left for everybody to participate. You can't be given special treatment. And so, yes, they're also doing away with religious symbolism in public. The hijab, for example. Canada knows. America is still playing dumb on it. It's a religious symbol of sexually abused women. Just like the underwear for Mormons, even though it's now bikini underwear for women. And women are still shy. They don't want to talk about it. We got to cover up and hide our underwear that covers up and hides our porn. We're debased, shameful, disgusting, pernicious evils that kill little kids. I heard this from my childhood peers. Stop it, women. Stop. Why are you Mormon? That was the horrible thing to find out. That the church is doing the same bullying to women that my childhood peers did. Just stop. And so, yeah, those kinds of religious symbolisms, they're trying to put a stop to it. Islam is pushing it to the extreme, forcing Canada to ban everybody because of Islam's push. And so, yeah, technically you can't wear an outward display of a cross when you're a government leader or a business leader or a school teacher, because you're favoring one religion over others when you're supposed to be equal in treating all religions. And thus why the separation of church and state. Joseph Smith said it needed to be done. And yet Mormons don't listen to him because they're the Danites. So, yeah, Canada is about to go into a civil war because of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and their religious freedom movement. So, we'll see. Dear God. This technically is a video in and of itself. So that may be the case. We'll see. Dear God.